back to Football Barbie, where we talk about anything and everything football. Now, I want to do a video about the AFC Super Bowl contenders, and this will at least be the divisional contenders, who I think, if you paid attention to any of my previous videos about who do I think is going to win the AFC North, South, East, and West. Now, I'm sure, as you probably know, we have the feeling everyone knows the Kansas City Chiefs will be winning the West. However, I am probably going to catch some flack for the AFC East winner, but let's find out. Stay tuned and see what you think. Let me know down in the comments. Do you believe the same? Please like, subscribe, and comment. Let's get it started.
Hold on, wait a minute. Y'all thought I was finished?
So let's first talk about the AFC North. The Cincinnati Bengals. They, I feel, are going to have 14 wins. So they were the AFC North champions last season with 12 wins, where they defeated the Ravens and the Bills to advance to the AFC title game for the second straight season, only to lose to the Chiefs. Shocking. Last season, the Bengals scored an average of 25.7 points per game and allowed 19.6, which placed them in the top 10 in the league for both metrics. Joe Burrow was fantastic in his third pro season, throwing for 4,475 yards, 35 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions. Some of their main offensive stars are Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. He had topped the receiving chart with 1,046 yards, and T. Higgins. Cincy has also added Orlando Brown Jr. at a left tackle to shore up its biggest weakness that they obtained from their rival, the Chiefs, signing him to a 4-year, $64 million deal. They agreed to an extension with linebacker Jermaine Pratt for $21 million over 3 years. As for running backs, they have Joe Mixon, who took a play cut to stick as a Bengals primary ball carrier. He's not been the most efficient lately, averaging fewer than 4 yards per carry in 2 of his last 3 seasons. He led the team in rushing with 814 yards. With Samaj Perine, I'm sorry, I really can't say some of these people's names, gone via free agency, their alternatives are Trayvon Williams and Chase Browns, who has a combined 47 carries at the NFL level. With both Jesse Bates III and Von Bell exiting at safety and Eli Apple leaving the corner spot, Cincy now has to rely on at least 3 new regulars, including the 2022 first-rounder Dax Hill and former Rams vet Nick Scott. They added the speed of rookie defensive back DJ Turner, and Jordan Battle should help. As for the draft, they selected defensive end Myles Murphy. So I think that the Bengals have a really good shot to win the AFC North. One of their biggest contenders for sure is going to be the Ravens. Next, let's talk about the AFC West. Now, I predict that Kansas City, however, is also going to have 14 wins. But I think that Kansas City will be able to beat the Bengals in the head-to-head matchup, which would put them at the number 1 seed spot. The Chiefs led the league in expected points added per play last season by a wide margin. Eagles and Chiefs both have byes the same week and then face off in a rematch the following week. So the Chiefs are going to have quite an interesting schedule, and I will for sure be at that game. Travis Kelce had 1,338 receiving yards and 12 touchdowns on 110 catches last season. Mahomes has 5,250 passing yards with 41 passing touchdowns and 12 interceptions with a 67.1% completion. If the Chiefs are able to return to the Super Bowl this year, it will be their 3rd time in the last 4 seasons that they have been to the Super Bowl. That's crazy. Welcome, Mr. New Tom Brady. They had a 14-3 record last season where they obviously won the Super Bowl. Their offense averaged 29.2 points per game, which was number 1 in the league, and their defense conceded with a 21.7, which was 16th. Arrowhead Stadium has been a site of each of the last 5 battles for the AFC Championship game, as they have to host the championship game every year since 2008 and 2019 season. The Chiefs' chances to win the AFC West are good, wherever since Andy Reid has been the head coach ahead of the 2013 campaign, he is yet to finish lower than second in the division. The Chiefs have won the AFC West 7 straight years to this point. That's crazy. It really makes you feel bad for the other teams that are within the league. Then you have the next team. Let's talk about the AFC South. Now, Jacksonville was on fire last year, having Trevor Lawrence under Doug Peterson. You could check out my video about Doug Peterson underneath of how I feel about them, along with my friend Colin, who has his channel and is a huge Jaguars fan. I think the Jaguars are going to have 8 wins as they managed to win the AFC South title last year in the 2022 season. It was their second AFC South title and their first since 2017 when the Jags played in the AFC Championship game. Last season, Jacksonville averaged 23.9 points per game and allowed 21.4. Trevor Lawrence made some strides his pro season, throwing 4,113 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. I feel like I've learned so much about Trevor Lawrence that his numbers down pat from last season. Travis Etienne led the team with 1,125 yards, which Christian Kirk topped the receivers with 1,108 yards. They lost to the Chiefs in a divisional round of the playoffs. The Jaguars picked up the victory over the Titans in the last season finale to claim the AFC South title. Coach Doug Peterson got the most out of Lawrence last year and helped lead the same team that picked number 1 2 years in a row to a playoff appearance and upset win in the wild card round. They went from last in scoring to 10th and made massive strides on defense, where they won their final 5 games to clinch the division for the first time since the 2016 season. Tight end Evan Ingram was franchise tagged, and receivers Calvin Ridley was reinstated. Right tackle Jawan Taylor left in free agency, and right tackle Cam Robinson is facing a multi-game suspension. The team in response took tackle Anton Harrison in the first round on their 27th pick. They retained defensive tackle Robertson Harris with an extension of 3 years for $30 million. The last time they won their division back-to-back was the 1998 and 1999 season. So, with Trevor Lawrence continued to improve as a quarterback, and under the coach of Doug Peterson, I have a feeling that they are going to be able to win that back-to-back title for the first time since the 1998. Now, as for the AFC East, Miami, surprisingly, just listen, as much as anybody wants to say otherwise, Miami Dolphins, winner of the AFC East. Now, obviously, this is all dependent on, yes, if Tua remains healthy, but this goes for any player. If any team loses any major player, they're probably going to lose games. So, this is a perfect world if all the great players remain healthy. Miami will win the AFC East division with 12. I think they will beat Buffalo by 1, where Buffalo, I'm giving them 11 wins, but that will be in my next video for the wild card video. They did beat the Chiefs. Miami did beat the Chiefs where Buffalo loses, where they both play at the Chiefs. There is a chance that they can have the same record as Buffalo if they lose the game to the Chiefs. The thing is, both Miami and Buffalo will play the Chiefs technically at the Chiefs' home. However, I give the win to the Chiefs at home against the Bills. But Miami, the home game for the Chiefs against Miami is in Germany. And Miami has been internationally a bunch. They have a much better record overseas than the Chiefs. So, if Miami can beat the Chiefs in Germany, I have a feeling they're going to be able to take the title for the AFC East. One of the most important factors, though, like I said, is for Tua to remain healthy. Now, I did hear that Tua was doing jiu-jitsu and practicing, so if he falls, he learns how to fall better and not try to get any more concussions, because we all know the poor man cannot afford any more concussions. The Dolphins last won the AFC East in 2008 when Tom Brady famously missed the 2008 season with a knee injury. Their record was 11-5. Last season, Miami scored an average of 23.8 points per game and allowed 24.1. Tua played in 13 games due to his concussion issues, but for the year, he threw 3,548 yards, 25 touchdowns, and 8 interceptions. Raheem Mostert led the team in rushing with 891 yards, who reached an extension with them in free agency along with Jeff Wilson. Tyreek Hill finished second in the league in receiving yards with 1,710, right under Justin Jefferson. They made it to the playoffs last season, only to lose in its divisional rival, the Bills. Shocking. Which might happen, but again. They are 2-3 in all-time big game appearances. We're losing last time out in the Super Bowl to, Super Bowl 19 to the 49ers. The Dolphins opened the season 3-0 and followed by dropping 3 straight where Tua went down to injury. Miami rebounded to win 5 in a row, but after that came a 5-game losing streak. They managed to secure their playoff spot in the last game of the season with a victory. Miami has parted ways. The defensive coordinator, Josh Boyer, was replacing him with Vic Fangio. The club upgraded its secondary by swinging a trade with the Rams for star cornerback Jalen Ramsey, sending a 3rd-round draft choice and tight end Hunter Long to the Rams. Now, however, Jalen Ramsey has somehow got himself hurt, I think, in training camp. I don't understand how these people are getting hurt in training camp. It's a little crazy to me. I'm not really sure what's happening. The Dolphins' first pick of the 2023 draft was cornerback Cam Smith in round 2, and they chose running back Devin Achane, wide receiver Elijah Higgins, and offensive tackle Ryan Hayes. So, I know I'm going to catch some probably flack for choosing the Miami Dolphins for the AFC East. However, I believe that if everybody remains healthy and if the Dolphins can really somehow get one leg up on the Bills, because they both have good opponents, but I really think that if Miami Dolphins wins that game in Germany against the Chiefs, since they both play the Chiefs, and we all know that the Chiefs are one of the hardest teams that are going to be to beat. I for sure am giving the Chiefs 14 wins. So, we all know that they're going to be really hard to beat. If Miami is able to beat them and that be one of their losses, I'm telling you that Miami has a chance to win the AFC East title. So, thank you guys. I appreciate it. Please like, comment, subscribe, share. Please write down below, what are your thoughts? I already know I'm going to get so much slack for choosing the Miami Dolphins to win the AFC East, because everyone's going to be, the Bills are favored, the Bills are favored, the Bills are favored. But just think about it. Look at my reasonings and see what you think, because I believe that they have the capability to win the AFC East. So, ta-ta for now. Love you guys.